Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Let's begin today's daily quiz with question number 1 on your screen. Which of the following is or are correctly matched? You have to see which of these rescue missions taken by the Indian government is correctly matched with the country. Operation Rahat from Yemen, Operation Maitri, Nepal, Operation Safe Homecoming, Syria, and Operation Sukoon, Lebanon. The correct answer here for this question is A. 1, 2 and 4 are correctly matched. The third statement is wrong because Operation Safe Homecoming was actually undertaken for Indian citizens who were stuck in Libya and not Syria. This information becomes relevant in the face of Indian government undertaking Operation Ganga to rescue the Indian citizens that are stuck in Ukraine, specifically the Indian students who are studying in Ukraine right now. The reason why we are asking this question is because Operation Ganga is being covered almost every single day by the newspapers about the current status of the Indian students who have been brought back from Ukraine. Today's newspaper tells us that under Operation Ganga, as many as 3,700 Indians have been brought back already and close to 2,200 Indians will be brought back today itself. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to International Atomic Energy Agency. Number 1. In 2005, it was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work for a safe and peaceful world. Second, the IAEA was created in 1957 in response to the deep fears and expectations generated by the discoveries and diverse uses of nuclear technology. Third, it is one of the specialized agencies of the United Nations. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is A. 1 and 2 are correct. The third statement is wrong because although the IAEA does prepare an annual report and presents it in the UN General Assembly, but it is not one of the specialized agencies of the UN. So it presents an annual report to the General Assembly and whenever needed, it also presents its report to the Security Council of the United Nations. It works closely with the UN without being one of the specialized agencies of the United Nations. The reason why we are discussing this question is because of this unfortunate incident, that is, Ukraine's nuclear facility, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has caught fire because of the Russian attack on this facility. The IAEA chief has told the European Council that fortunately enough, no reactors have been damaged, so we are not looking at any fatalities due to this particular incident. But this again brings into notice the need to safeguard nuclear power facilities irrespective of wherever they are present throughout the world. It is the IAEA that is the premier global agency to ensure that proper safeguarding is done for these nuclear power plants. They are the ones who set up protocols that most of the nations follow to secure their nuclear power plants. In fact, yesterday you saw Ukraine's president also making a statement mentioning that the world must urge Russia at least not to attack these nuclear power plants because that would have disastrous impact not just on Ukraine but on nations across the world. Next, question number 3. Which of the following is or are a part of the literary work done by Sri Aurobindo? An English newspaper called Bande Matram, Basis of Yoga, The Future Evolution of Man, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, Savitri, A Legend and a Symbol, and The Hour of God. The correct answer over here is C. Except the fourth one, which is actually an autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, all others are a part of the literary work which are performed by Sri Aurobindo. The reason why we are asking this question is because the government has said that it is committed to expanding Auroville, which is a township established in 1968 by Mira Alfasa, also known as a mother in Pondicherry. Auroville right now has a population of about 3,200 people and the Auroville Foundation owns a land of about 3,300 acres. The government has said that it has plans to support this township on the event of 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo. The Auroville Universal Township Master Plan was approved by the HRD Ministry in April 2001. However, last year, a lot of residents residing in Auroville started protesting against the felling of trees for this particular project. Interestingly, Sri Aurobindo shares his birthday with the birthday of India. His birth date is 15th of August, the day that India also became independent. Next, question number 4. Dash is produced by electrolysis of water using renewable energy like solar and wind and has a lower carbon footprint. Gray hydrogen, green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, or brown hydrogen? The correct answer here is B. This is a method using which green hydrogen is produced. Now we have all these different types of hydrogen which depend on the process of their formation. While green hydrogen is produced by electrolysis of water using renewable energy, brown hydrogen is produced using coal, where the emissions are released into the air. Grey hydrogen, on the other hand, is produced from natural gas, while blue hydrogen also is produced by natural gas. The difference between grey and blue hydrogen is, in case of grey hydrogen, emissions are released into the air. For blue hydrogen, the emissions are captured using carbon capture and storage technique. The reason why we are asking this question is because the Prime Minister of India has called on the industry to invest in green hydrogen production, which can make India a hub for green hydrogen and ensure that India moves forward in the field of renewable energy. Next is a previous year question from 2020. With reference to the history of India, Ulgulan or the Great Tumult is the description of which of the following events? Is it the revolt of 1857? The Mappila Rebellion of 1921, the Indigo Revolt of 1859-60, or the Birsa Munda Revolt of 1899 to 1900. The correct answer here is D. The Great Tumult is a description which is used to describe the Birsa Munda Revolt of 1899 and 1900. It is one of the most prominent events that took place in just the end of the century. It was a tribal rebellion led by Birsa Munda in what we today call Ranchi. This led to establishment of one of the first independent governments in a small part of India called the Munda Raj. Next, we have a fact of the day, and today we will be discussing about the concept of general consent. Now, the concept of general consent specifically is used with respect to the CBI. There are two types of consent that you talk about: general consent and special consent. Now, in simple terms, as you know, CBI is a central investigative agency. So if the CBI has to take up a case which is specific to a particular state, CBI has to take permission from that state government to come into the state and start investigating that case. For that, the state governments usually can either give general consent to CBI. General consent means the CBI does not have to take permission from the state time and time again for every case. They are free to come to the state whenever they want for any case. Otherwise, if a state has not given general consent, then comes the picture of special consent. Means, in case of special consent, the CBI has to ask permission of the state government for every single case one by one, and the state government may or may not allow the special consent on a case-by-case basis. The reason why it is in the news is that recently Meghalaya also decided to withdraw general consent given to the CBI, thus becoming the 9th state in India to withdraw this general consent. These states include Mizoram, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Kerala, Jharkhand, and now Meghalaya. While Andhra Pradesh also withdrew the consent given to the CBI in 2018, the new government in 2019 restored that general consent. Now, withdrawing the general consent means that the CBI now will not be able to register any fresh case which involves the officials of the central government or a private person in that state without asking for a special consent from the state government. It does not stop the CBI from investigating a case which was registered before this withdrawal. So the ongoing cases, their investigation shall continue, just that it would impact the new cases from now onwards. Also, one exception here is that if the Supreme Court or the High Courts in India ask the CBI to investigate a matter, in that case they don't have to take the consent of the state. So it does not apply when an order is given by the higher judicial. This is it for today's daily quiz video. Thank you so much for watching.